Okay, we resume Ulefes Sappirim. Mouch, we need the source of the Zohar Kaddish, and we're not doing anything irresponsible because this is, Rav Shlomo Al Ghazi, right? The guy in Olam, selected these Zohars for us and translated them for us and for all Klal Yisrael. And we have a heavy one for today. We're on Yom Hashmini, if Ois Tes Zayin. Because we'll say from Bamid Daf Kufran Testament Aleph, so on Zohar and Bamidbar Kufran Testament Aleph. Zod B'Pasuk B'Tzelem Elokim. A secret in the pasuk regarding the pasuk Tzelem Elokim. Obviously, in the words of the Nefesh HaChaim, Mamshe's opening of Shara. Tzelem Elokim is Kol Rov Pnimius Hazor and Kisvei Ari. Tzelem Elokim is like the central sugya. If you understand that, you understand everything, because all the olamas of Tzelem Elokim, that's part of what we're going to learn right now. Sheish HaKadosh Gil Olamis, right? HaKadosh Baruch Hu has three worlds, right? Let's read what he says, then we'll unpack it. HaKadosh has three worlds. Echad Olam Elyon Shu Ganzo, there's one very, very high world that Hashem is hidden within it, right? Which I assume is talking about the Olam HaAtzilus, right? That's all just the name of Kulo Shemos HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's called Hashem hidden in it, because as it were, hiding behind his names, for lack of a better way of explaining it. Vasheli Olam Achshu Koroshu Bos Olam. There's another world. That HaKadosh Hu is very tied to that world, and HaKadosh Hu is known through that world, and that I assume is Olam Abriya, which is also where the Kisei HaKavod is. It's where creation starts from, and then that's where we could first start seeing HaKadosh Baruch Hu, as it were, because we see how he's Borei Umanik. That's called, you open up the Sharei Tzedek, that's to come to see Olam Abriya. Hagimel Olam HaMalachim. And now the third one is beneath that, Olam Abriya, is Olam HaYitzir, which is the world of angels. And now these angels, they think they know God because they know they're smarter than we are. But when they try to look at HaKadosh Baruch Hu, like, they think they can know God, and then HaKadosh Baruch Hu just dafka is misalik from them knowing him at all. It teaches them a real lesson that he is unknowable. Let me further page it, right? And therefore, when they realize they can't be Masik HaKadosh Baruch Kvod Hashem Im Komo, right? Blessed be Hashem from his place, right? Blessed be Hashem from his place, meaning wherever he is. And Komo also means his Madrega. Whatever is Madrega, blessed be. They try to understand God, and Baruch Hashem makes them realize they can't know anything about him, right? Right, and this is, going, so out of the Arba Olamas that we know of, the Arba Olamas to make up Olam Hazeh, should be pointed out. These, which, and even when we say Arba Olamas to make Olam Hazeh, it's really the Arba Olamas that are central operating system of Olam Hazeh. There's Olamas way above, and there's millions and millions and millions of Olamas, but the Arba Olamas are the central operating system of Olam Hazeh. So, of course, I guess when you say, I am speculating, but I don't think I'm going out on limb over here. When the Zohar says HaKadosh has 3 out of 4, Besor HaShamayim Shamayim LaHashem, V'Oretz Nasan Levnei Adam. The last one, Asiya, is where earth is. It's Asiya also has spiritual dimensions to it, but it's Koilo, space and earth, and so it's V'Oretz Nasan Levnei Adam. So Shamayim Shamayim LaHashem is 3 olamas, right? We call Shamayim, Shamayim Shamayim LaHashem. It is these 3 olamas of Atzilus, Bria, Yitzira, which is just didn't use those terms for these worlds, but that's clearly what it's alluding to. And it's because the fourth one is beside V'Oretz Nasan Levnei Adam. And now the Zohar is going to work it bottom up. Ken yesh b'mina Adam gimel olamas. Now man also, who's B'Tzelem Elokim, we also have 3 worlds, but in the opposite order. The first world is Olam, we're going bottom up over here. Our first world is this world, Olam HaPir, the world where we are separated. Shara mistak meno ve'eno nireh. Right, right. When you leave this world, right, you're not seen anymore. Right, it's a world that you're in body alone, and when you're gone, you're gone. Right, that's this world, physical world. Right. Olam Shady, so this is a world that you're in just in life, not in death. Right? When you're gone, you're gone. Right? It's this world, which is the world of separation. Because this world, God forbid, we could live life. We have to work hard to make any type of connection with anything holy, anything ruchani. It's Olam HaPir, world that's be'etzem, seemingly separated. It's the big problem of Olam Hazeh. Right? Olam Sheni, Olam HaKosher, Olam HaElyon, many other Daki Olam HaElyon, V'zel Gan Eden Sholmata. So now, even within this world, there is a higher dimension called Gan Eden. Right? Now, Gan Eden is a intermediary between here and heaven. Right? It's a very big yesod. Gan Eden, there's a Gan Eden actually in every world, and the Gan Eden is the intermediary point between that world and the world above it. It's also point center of that world, which is another Inyan. That everything about that world is concentrated, but also it's there. That it's that's where it's like a portal between there and a connecting portal between there and the world above it. So even Gan Eden is a Gan Eden Tachton, Gan Eden Elyon, even Gan Eden Tachton that's in Olam Hazeh somewhere. It's a spiritual. It's a place that bridges on the spiritual. That's why you can only go there when you're dead. You can't go there when you're alive, right? So, because even if it's a Gan Eden Tachton that's somewhere in what's technically called this world, it's a bridge between a higher world and the tachlis of going there. The benefit you go there. Well, what do you do there? Well, right? From there, the ways of the heavens. You go there to learn about, since it's a plural, there you go learn Darkei Olam HaElyon, right? You can learn from there. There's a lot to learn there about the secrets of what goes on in the world above. That's the Gan Eden below, on earth. That's a portal to Gan Eden in heaven. Olam Gimel Olam HaElyon Shu Ganuz. Now the third world is Taka Olam HaElyon, which is hidden. Kersiv Ayin Lo Rasa. Right? So now this seems, right? It seems, I have a suffix over here as to whether the Zohar, like I say a million times, I come into this cold when I teach a book, even on the Rambam that I'm teaching right now, especially Rambam I'm teaching, I come in cold to be on equal footing with you, and I'm learning this book together with you in real time. Okay, so now I have a suffix over here whether the Zohar is referring to Olam HaElyon, which Olam HaNeshamas, right, which is, we mamash go beyond Gan Eden Tachton, you progress. And then even in the Olam HaElyon, there's a Gan Eden Elyon. There's a Gan Eden in every world and world, right? That's talking about, where you go after you've been in Gan Eden Tachton, which is where the dead, find their real resting place in the Gan Eden Elyon, if they're allowed entry there. If not, it's Olam HaNeshamas where they're resting and awaiting resurrection. But then, and that's why I would have said that that's the third world that he's referring to, which all of them could, that's what I would have said, right? The third world from the perspective of the Adam, but then he brings this pasuk of Ayin Lo Rasa, that this world is hidden. I get that world is hidden, but saying that, no, I've seen it, that the Gemara darshans that pasuk on Olam Haba Mamish, the real Olam Haba that has, no one's gone there yet because, it's not the time of giving out the final reward for mitzvahs. What you get in when you go up to Gan Eden is just a taste of your schar mitzvahs, as the Ramchal explains in the Derech Hashem. Schar mitzvah b'hai al maleka, the real schar mitzvah is only in Olam Haba. It hasn't happened yet, which is Ayin Lo Rasa. The Gemara darshans that pasuk on Kol Vim Lo Snabu El Yimos HaMashiach Avo Olam Haba Ayin Lo Rasa Kim Zu Asecha. And maybe it means Olam Haba, which is where we're eventually going to go. Bnei Adam eventually go there, and that's even higher than when the angels are. Kesho Mali So Mapal. They're going to add at that time. They're going to ask Am Yisrael, what did Hashem do there? It's the angels. We're going to be on an more inner chamber with HaKadosh Baruch Hu than the angels. Now, I guess we could learn it up either way. So it's either where you go after you've progressed from the Gan Eden Tachton to the Olam Mamish, Olam Hanashamas, or maybe it's referring to Olam Ba, where you eventually go if you zoche, right? And therefore it's written. So these are like man's three worlds. So God has three worlds, man has three worlds. As opposed to, let me explain, as opposed to the angels, they only have the one world that they're in. That's why they're called Omdim. They don't progress. They're something Malchim Bena Omdim. They're called Omdim. A Malach is stuck in its madre, stuck in its world. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu has many worlds at his disposal to interact with. And the Adam, La'avdil, B'Tzel Melkim, has many worlds to interact with. L'kach ksiv, and that's why the pasuk was Torah's mitzavos. Lo tasimu korcha beinechem lemeis. Do not, pull out your hair in agony over a dead person. Because why are you upset? All right, you don't see him. Fine. Like we said, you know this guy from this world that we say once you're dead, no one sees you ever again. Yeah, but that's an illusion. You're right. In this world, in Olam HaPirud, like we said a few lines ago, you die, no one ever sees you again here, right? But you're not really gone. You're in a higher world. You move on. You move on, to Gan Eden, and from Gan Eden to Olam Hashamas, and ultimately to Olam Haba, Olam Hashamas / Olam Haba. Right, and that's why it's sort of like being too grieving, too much for a mace. The Torah outlawed pulling out your hair or cutting your skin in agony for the mace, because he's not really gone. You just don't see him, but he's not really gone. He went to Linchol Olam Male to inherit a full world. And with this, we finished Yom HaShmini. Like we said many times, this book was meant to be done on a 30-day cycle. We just finished all the Zayars that for the first 9 days of the 30-day cycle. Okay, and now we're saying Yom HaTshi'i, the Zayars they meant for us to do on day number 9 of the month, which is Malas Noshim Tzidkonius. Zayars have to do with the Malas Noshim Tzidkonius. How apropos to do before Hanukkah. How so apropos? Because we know according to Shita, yes, Machlokas Rishon. What does it mean? Afinoyu Bosa Nes. Does it mean that they were there also? That's one Shitas Rishonim. Another is that they were Ikaranes. So by Pesach, they're Chayv Dalkos because of Bisusas Tzidkonius Negalu, and by Hanukkah for Yehudis, and for Purim because of Esther. Nashim Tzidkonius, Mamash. Hanukkah is a Chag of Nashim Tzidkonius, and that's why the Nashim because their special connection to it. They don't do malacha while the candles are burning. Kayadua. Because the Sefer Bamidbar Daf Kuf Samech Zayin Omid Beis. So the Zohar in Bamidbar Daf Kuf Samech Zayin Omid Beis says, there are 4 chambers for the Nashim Tzidkonius in Gan Eden, right? Just not a blanket madrega. Yeah, this is Nashim Tzidkonius corner. No. There's 4 chambers of Nashim Tzidkonius in Gan Eden. Hecho Rishon, Batya, Basparo. In the first chamber is Batya, Basparo. The Kamar Vos Alfe Nashim Tzidkonius Sham, and there's many tens of thousands, thousands of tens of thousands of women are there because they're on that madrega, the madrega that was exemplified. That the Semel, the prime example of that madrega is Basya Basparo, who adopted Moshe Rabbeinu, right? So there's like tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of millions, really, of Nashim Tzidkonius that fit there. They're in that category. And then there's like a baskol that an announcer comes out 3 times every day that says, Haray Tzuras Moshe Rabbeinu El Shom Ba, right? A image of Moshe Rabbeinu comes to visit because Batya, Moshe Rabbeinu Oser Hakar Satov, because she pulled him out of the water and reunited him with his mother. kayadua, right? So the tzura of Moshe Rabbeinu comes and visits. Batara Mishtachava Vomeres, and Batcha sees the tzura of Moshe Rabbeinu and bows and says, "Ashrei Chelk Zeligado, fortunate is my chelik that I was zocha to raise him." Then oskos b'mitzvahs v'tameh, and the women, these women are also in mitzvah Torah and the tameh mitzvahs. It's amazing. Women in Olam Haba learn Torah. They're pater from Talmud Torah and Olam Hazeh, but they learn Torah in Olam Haba. It kind of makes sense because we say the Torah is the or of Olam Haba. If a woman can be Zoch Olam Haba, it means she's Zeicha to the or of Torah. So they're pater from the Maisa of Talmud Torah, but their schar mitzvah they get, or Torah also in their Olam Haba. They're Eis Kos b'mitzvah Torah v'tameh. Chol Hashem Ayoshos b'zeh Echol Nikros Noshim Sha'ananot. Sheina Mitzdaros began. Now all the women that sit in this chamber of Basir Basparo are called the Noshim Sha'ananos. The Gemara says in Bracha Stuff Yud Zayin. Is it not that this is what greater was the haftacha to them, more to men, that they would be Sha'ananot u'betuchos. These are women who are tranquil because they do not have to experience the pain of Gehenna. Heichal Sheini, the second chamber of Noshim Tzidkar Serach Bas Asher. Right, Sarah, the Serach Bas Asher, also a very righteous woman that lived for an amazing long time. The now take a look at the diak over here. It's black and white, right? That there's like tens of thousands, meaning there's a higher madrega would seem, and not many women are on this madrega like the madrega of Batya Baspar. So over there it's millions. Over here it's tens of thousands, right? That are in this heichal of Serach Bas Asher. And now a voice comes out 3 times a day, b'chol yom every day, v'omer, and says, there's a likeness of Yosef HaTzadik coming. V'yotzav ro'as Yosef v'smecha v'chol zeres ima noshim. Right? So she goes and she sees Yosef and she's happy. And she goes back with the women. Okay, so I don't know I'm speculating, but I don't think I'm going on limb that the special catch between Serach Bas Asher and Yosef, she was the one that sang the song Od Yosef Chai, and she goes to see Yosef and she's happy, and she goes back with the women to go out to see Yosef, and they go back. Hechol Gimel, now the third chamber, Yocheved Imo Shel Moshe Rabbeinu Sham, right? That is the chamber of Yocheved, the mother of Moshe. And they don't even make any announcement of any guests in this, in this chamber. And now it doesn't talk about who's with her here. That's interesting. It's an interesting point, observation to make. Right? They do not announce anything in this chamber. Rather 3 times every day. Moda u'mishabachas. La Kodesh Baruch Hu Nasa Sharima. She just thanks God together with whether women are with her. They also sing, they sing, Shiras Hayam. Vilavada Omeris, but it seems that when they sing, they kind of give her accompaniment, but she alone sings. So Vatikach Miriam Anavia, so it brings upon that Vatan Lehem Miriam. So Miriam was really the one singing, and they were answering her, they were accompanying her. So it seems that in this Heichal, it's actually Yocheved who does it, because it seems that's what we said, right? I just take a look. That's right, Yocheved. So it seems that she is like her daughter Miriam. It's what it sounds like, the Zohar. If you want to be sure, look it up yourselves, right? It sounds like that, just like Miriam said, Shira Sayam by herself, the woman just accompanied her. It's Vatan Lehem Miriam. So here, Yocheved alone is the one who sings Shira Sayam. They just accompany her. All they listen to her beautiful voice. There's no problem. Kol be'isha ereva, obviously, because there's no hirur avera, because no yetzahara, right? Hechoravi dvora. Right, so 4 chambers dvora. V'kan nashiyima, as a few women with her. Mizaz hashir shamroza, and they sing with her the shira that she said, shiras dvora. She said in this world, the sukkim of Atashar dvora. No, if I wouldn't know better, it seems like the problem is that it's by the upper 2 worlds we don't know. We don't get a number of the women how many women are there with her. Makes sense a higher madrega, especially talking about Moshe Rabbeinu's own mother, right? Higher madrega, but I don't know. They're not learning Torah. It's interesting. All right. Anyone wants to go more beyond? Look it up with the Meforshim. Okay. Beis, because of Sefer Vayikra Dafim Beis Amud Aleph, so it's written Sefer Vayikra Zohar Chel Gimel Dafim Beis Amud Aleph. Ki b'shvil isha zocha adam l'mal. You should know it's because of your wife that you're zocha the money. See, it's the opposite. The women complain about how they don't make good money. It's really their fault. A man makes as much money as he's zocha through his wife. So if a woman has problems with parnasa, she should blame herself. Not blame her husband, because he's only zochel, because Adam is zochel a mom before his woman, for his wife, right? So if a woman has complaints about parnasa, it's her fault. Don't blame him, because he's only zochel b'shvil ha'isha. Shenemar, as the pasuk says, I'm going to show the Zohar to my wife. Everyone show the Zohar to your wives, right? Vayikra nun beis amud aleph, easy to find, right? Shenemar, as it says, bias for hon nachlas avos. Right, so it says, the house and the fortune, the abundance is not that's the inheritance of the forefathers. But Hashem, but from Hashem is the successful woman. So it says, the Zohar, it's all one pasuk. You have to make a hekesh. Misha zocha bisha maskeles zocha because Zohar as a isha maskeles, a wise woman, a successful woman. He has the bias hone. He has the bias for home. The bias on even nachlas sounds like if a person ever got screwed on his Yerusha, it's probably his wife's bad mazel. That's what it sounds like. All right, I'm going to show the Zohar to my wife. Oh, man. Everyone show the Zohar to your wives. I'm sorry. That's what makes me so real. I say what I think. I say what I feel. And I'm learning this with you in real time. Sure you'll appreciate it. All right, we're shifting gears. He says that from Ois Gimel, he's talking about Malas Tzadik. Zohars have to do with the Mal of Tzadikim. Because of the Sefer Bereshis Daf Kuf Tzadal from Mid Aleph. So in Zohar Bereshis Kuf Tzadal from Mid Aleph, it says, Ki Kishorim Tzadik Yesh Al Parnas Elokim. When a person's righteous, he has a Tzelem Elokim. Yeah, we discussed this concept, I think, both here and in Reishis Chachma, that the Tzadik has a Tzelem that a Rasha does not have. Was Kobri's Zokvas and Ambrose, so some of them also everyone like all the Brias, even like the animals, let alone the angels that are more spiritual. They take notice and they shudder. Vav Chayos Barov, also even the animals and even the birds in the sky. Avokashorim Russia, when a person is evil, and the stock mental telling him that he loses Tzelem Elokim. And the animals look at him like another animal, so they're not afraid of him. Daniel only stuck to learn. Daniel never lost his Tzelem Elokim. And that's the physics. There's a certain method, and physics to the miracle that, he was thrown into the Gova Rayos, the lion's den, and they didn't attack him, because he had a Tzelem Elokim, and then they were afraid. He's an Odom, not a behemoth. He's not a behemoth like them, so of course they were afraid because he had the Tzelem Elokim of an Odom. So you might ask, so what's the big miracle? Well, I'll explain to you what the big miracle is. Because generally, if you're handed over to the guy, I can't remember, it was Daryavish, whichever king threw him into Govarayos, I don't remember offhand, but right? Let me show you. When you're generally handed over to your enemy, that's a sign that you went down in Madrega, or Hashem will, just like he dumped you by under the jurisdiction of Goy, he's stripping you of your tzalm because you're under the Goy. The Hedra Daniel, that's so why is it a miracle? You might ask me, is it tzalm okay, man? No. When you are under the control of a Goy, it is indicative that you lost your tzelem. It is indicative that sar tzila me'alehem. That's what the Yoshua and Kalev were saying, right? We saw that the Yoshvei Arts, they don't have a tzelem. They don't have a tzalm. We can take them. Sar tzilam, right? Right. So when you're toast and when there's a gzeira on you, your tzelem is suspended. That's what makes you vulnerable. You see, the nace is that even though he was, under the, that's why it's a nace. He was in the tzara, and being in the tzara generally is indicative that you lose your tzelem. Your tzelem is suspended, and that's why the goy is not afraid of you. The goy is not afraid of you. The animal shouldn't be afraid of you either. So Daniel, even though the nace was, even though the goy had jurisdiction over him, he didn't really have. He didn't lose his tzelem, and that's why the lions couldn't take him, and that's why it's called a nace. Right, because generally when your mazel is down, for whatever reason, whether it's your own problem or it's a gzeira, so the tzelem is suspended. Here his tzelem was not suspended, even though he was under the koach of the king to be thrown into the gova rayos. His tzelem was not diminished. Then that's the nace. There are when there's a gzeira, the koach of the tzelem is diminished to make you vulnerable. Hashem Yerachim. Okay, we will stop here for today.